VAXEE have been on a winning streak with their recent wireless releases, and they aim to continue that with the new OUTSET AX Wireless. VAXEE are becoming known for their high quality mice with incredible attention to detail, but despite their recent wins, I was disappointed with the original OUTSET AX when that was released. We will see if VAXEE has stayed true to the continual improvement that they said is a part of their company values. And there's another potential obstacle for them to overcome. There is a direct competitor to one of their mice. The Lamzu Thorn, a mouse that I have previously called one of the best mice of the year. Later I'll be comparing the two shapes in detail, and I'll also decide which one is the best. But before we get to the big ergo battle of 2023, first is the mentioned attention to detail, especially in regards to sensor performance. Following with their previous wireless releases, this mouse is using the Pixar 3395 sensor, which at the moment supports up to 1000 Hz polling rate. But you may be thinking, but other mice have 4000 Hz polling rate. Well, good news, VAXEE announced in their OUTSET AX Wireless video that they are working on a 4000 Hz polling rate dongle. There's more to this though than the standard wireless mouse with great sensor, as VAXEE has put a lot of effort into anti-interference and wireless stability to match wired performance. The average person may not notice these improvements, as VAXEE's focus is these being used by professional gamers at esports events. But the inclusion of this technology means that VAXEE are serious about even the most marginal performance benefits. This fancy tech does have an impact on battery life though. The default competitive mode, which has all of these advanced features, will have the battery lasting around 50 hours. This is marginally offset by the approximate 1 hour and 50-minute charging time to get back to full. Unless they do a tournament for the best silver players in the world, you probably won't be attending any esports events anytime soon. So the standard version might be the best for you, which will increase the battery life to around 100 hours. Another benefit is that this mouse is a true example of plug and play. There's no software available for this mouse, which is surprising considering the amount of things that you can change on this mouse. For example, DPI, polling rate, debounce times, motion sync and liftoff distance, to name a few, can all be changed from the underside of the mouse. Before we get into a deep dive of the shape of this mouse, and the comparison with the Lamzu Thorn. Lastly, the main switches on this mouse are using Huanu Black Shell blue dots. Here is a quick sound check. Comparing the shape to the Thorn, it looks somewhat identical, but there's a subtle difference that is on the OUTSET AX that has a large impact on whether or not you'll find it comfortable. The AX is approximately 116mm long, 66mm wide and 43mm tall, and weighs around 73 grams. I know some people are sweating at the thought of lifting something so astronomically heavy, but please do not be put off by the weight. When placing my fingers on top of these mice without my palm coming in contact with the mouse, there's not much difference between the two, but the AX does have a slightly flatter curve leading down from the center to the right. The main difference though is located on the back hump, specifically on the bottom left. On the AX, the curve sticks out a lot more, and this does have some potential issues. If I place my hand on both of these mice, the Thorn is superior. The curves are just a lot more snug on my hand. The highlighted curve on the AX digs into this area of my palm or thumb, I don't know what it is, I looked it up, it's called the abductor pollicis brevis. Anyway, but this is a design choice, as this is suitable for those that have a tilted grip. If I hold the mouse in the way that VAXEE said it's good for, it's comfortable and my complaint no longer applies. However, the shape is far more accessible on the Thorn, which means that in a way it is better than the AX here. But that's not to mean that the OUTSET AX isn't comfortable or that you can't use it. It just means that some adjustment might have to be made to get used to it. VAXEE are similar to Zowie, where they have a high attention to detail with their shapes, and sometimes they're designed for a specific grip type. The biggest question, I guess, is which is better, the OUTSET AX or the Lamzu Thorn? Well, hold on a little bit longer, because first I want to give you my opinion of the OUTSET AX in isolation before I compare it to the Thorn. Overall, VAXEE have made another fantastic mouse. To start with, the build quality on this mouse is phenomenal. Everything feels so well made and durable. I think at the moment, VAXEE have got the most comfortable coating on their mice out of every manufacturer going. With the price being around $120, it sits in between the premium brand like Logitech and Razer and the up and coming coming brands like Lamzu and Pulsar. But honestly, when you hold it for the first time, you feel that quality that you're paying for straight away. Despite the allure of following the footsteps of other manufacturers with lightweights and optical switches to name a few, it's interesting how VAXEE stay away from these whilst also improving their own products. An easy win could be to reduce the weight, but honestly with this mouse I don't think that's needed. Recently I think the average weight of a mouse I've been using has been around 50 grams, having 23 extra grams hasn't really been a noticeable downside in my opinion. Providing that you'll benefit from the shape of this mouse, I would highly recommend getting it. VAXEE's quality continues to be unrivaled. But now the big question, which is better, the Outset AX Wireless or the Lamzu Thorn? The Thorn has a superior shape which is better for those that just want to slap their hand on the mouse, and the weight of 52 grams is significantly easier on the wrists after playing video games for 8 hours. Having said that, the Thorn is let down by the switches. When comparing the two, the difference to me is just too great there, and the quality of the AX is just so much better that it just marginally wins in a head-to-head battle.
Major lacerations detected.
You can offset the weight of this mouse with a glass mousepad, and there's a review of one on screen now for you to watch.